The largest hailstone that ever fell in Kansas fell in September. It was just a little bit smaller than the largest hailstone ever recorded. So that fell in Vivian, South Dakota. This is a 3D replica of that Vivian, South Dakota hailstone, the largest ever recorded. This is a little over 8 inches in diameter, and then that hailstone in Kansas was a little under 8 inches in diameter. So it was basically this size, just give or take a quarter of an inch.
Just barely missed getting there. And this hail replica, I mean, it's becoming famous on our podcast. I think it's come up at least 2 or 3 times.
Here it is. Yes. we talk about it quite often. Look, if you have a 3D printout of the biggest hailstone ever recorded in the US, you got to show it off. We were joking yesterday that it's becoming like our mascot or something.
Yeah.
So we actually had a storm chaser on that Wichita storm that produced the largest hailstone ever in Kansas. Justin Hughes was down there 15 years ago. He actually went up to Kansas to chase tornadoes, not hail.
We saw that the SPC, I think maybe it was the morning of, they put out just a little bit of like a 5% tornado risk and just a small area in south central Kansas. Along with a significant hail risk. And so we just decided, hey, it's 4 o'clock, takes a couple hours to get up there. Let's go ahead and like, we have nothing else going on. Let's go see what we can get. So there was really no planning. It was kind of like a last minute thing. So
again, Collin, he was going for tornadoes, but when the hail started falling, they got stuck and they tried to find shelter.
We found this little country dirt road that kind of weaved under this little pass for like tractors or something. It was like in between farms, but it was like perfect shelter. So we did that, and then the hail just started getting larger and larger. And I'll always remember there's these cows out in this field, and they were just getting pummeled by these hailstones. We all felt really bad for them, but and during all of that, it actually produced for at least a brief time, the largest hailstone ever recorded in the United States.
So the hailstone that he was talking about, that there is about 7 3/4 inch in diameter. So just a little bit smaller than that one that fell in Vivian, South Dakota, just 2 months prior. So this one still holds the record for the largest hailstone ever in the US, but that one in Kansas holds the record for the second largest in the US. And just for reference, Collin, I know this thing is massive, but this weighs a little over a pound, or at least the one in Wichita weighed about 1.1 pounds. And scientists have gone back and they've researched this storm, and they said that this thing was falling to the ground at a little over 100 miles an hour.
So that fast, I mean, wouldn't it like go through your roof if it were to hit your house?
This is something that Derek likes to call not just going through the roof, but it'll break your coffee table. It'll go all the way through.
Now, for.
No, I don't know if that's insured. Now, we have some pictures of the divots that it actually made in a golf course and on the ground outside people's homes. It's absolutely insane. It looks like just a softball came pummeling in.
Oh, and it's loud. We could hear it. We could hear cars that were like on the highway, just the thuds that it was making, and it was nuts to see I guess the quantity of like stones that large. I've never seen that before.
So he goes on to talk about that it wasn't just the massive hail that day and 5 tornadoes that were produced by the supercell, but there was also a ton of lightning. So it's pretty common to see a lot of lightning in hailstorms, but Justin's car actually got struck by lightning and he had no idea.
The hail was hitting so hard and it was like so loud and the wind was blowing through there that we were in my car when it happened. But in the video that I had, I don't know where it is, like we rolled down the window at a perfect time because right in front of us, this big bolt of lightning comes down, and the loudest strike I've ever heard. Like I couldn't hear what my brother was saying. Like it was like our ears were ringing. And then years later, my first year here at HailTrace, they featured us and the local news did on just, hey, like hail stalkers, and they wanted some B-roll footage. I took them the video, and they pointed out that a little finger came off the big strike and hit my car, and that would explain why like I had electrical issues until I sold that car.
Man, getting struck by lightning and also not knowing that you were struck by lightning until a while later when you're reviewing the footage is wild.
I'm glad they were in their car, not outside of their car. That could have been bad. So Justin saw a lot of big hail that day, but he said he didn't actually see the biggest hailstone recorded. He said that as they got out of their car, the sun was out at that point and it had started melting a little bit.
When we got out, I remember it was sunny, so like melting already occurring. But yeah, I would say the biggest one that I picked up was, probably bigger than my hand. And they were all over the ground. Normally, whenever you see some of those storms, it's like one here, one there, one there. They were everywhere. So it was definitely a high volume storm of massive hail.